Happiness is one of the most misunderstood pursuits of the modern world. People chase it as though it is the ultimate goal of life, believing that if they can just achieve the right circumstances, then happiness will arrive and stay. But the truth is, happiness is temporary, it is emotional and conditional. It rises and falls like the tide, depending on what happens around you. When life gives you what you want, happiness appears. When life takes something away, it vanishes. This is because happiness is based on conditions that are outside your control. The job you hold, the people around you, the weather, the approval of others. All of these are fragile foundations upon which to build something as vital as your well-being. The moment one of them changes, your emotional state changes too. This instability is why so many people live in cycles of emotional highs and lows. They depend on moments instead of meaning. When you build your life on temporary feelings, you are like a traveler chasing shadows. Every time you think you've caught it, it disappears with the next sunset. Understanding the temporary nature of happiness is not about rejecting joy, it's about redefining it. Joy and happiness are not the same. Joy is internal and rooted in peace. Happiness is external and reactive. People often say they want to be happy, but what they truly mean is they want to escape pain, disappointment, and worry. They seek an emotion to replace discomfort. However, emotions cannot replace understanding. If you don't know who you are, why you exist, or where your value comes from, no amount of laughter or pleasure can satisfy your heart. Happiness without purpose is like perfume on a wound. It might smell nice for a while, but it never heals what's broken. The danger in pursuing happiness as a lifestyle is that it makes you addicted to comfort. You begin to avoid challenges, reject growth, and resent discomfort. Yet it is in discomfort that strength and wisdom are born. The person who chases happiness constantly moves from one temporary pleasure to another, never realizing that peace, not pleasure, is what the soul longs for. Happiness can be taken away by a single bad day, a misunderstanding, or a failure. Peace, however, is not shaken by such things. When you understand that happiness is only temporary, you begin to seek something deeper, something eternal. You stop measuring your life by smiles and start measuring it by strength. You start appreciating moments of calm even when things aren't perfect. You stop running after what feels good and begin cultivating what is good. The temporary nature of happiness teaches us that feelings are beautiful but unreliable. They are signals, not destinations. The wise person learns to appreciate happiness when it comes, but never depends on it for stability. Because in the end, happiness may decorate your life, but only peace can hold it together. Peace is not an emotion, it is a state of being. It is the quiet strength that remains when everything else around you seems to be falling apart. Unlike happiness, which is momentary and driven by circumstances, peace is stable, deep, and enduring. It does not need perfect conditions to exist. In fact, peace often reveals its true power in imperfect conditions. It is the calm that remains in your heart when the storm outside is raging. Many people think peace comes when life becomes easy, but peace is not the reward of an easy life. It is the reward of an anchored soul. When your peace is real, it is not dependent on people treating you right, on things going your way, or on everything being in order. It comes from a source that cannot be shaken by the temporary changes of the world. Peace gives you control over your inner atmosphere. It is the difference between living from the outside in and living from the inside out. People who lack peace are easily influenced by their surroundings. One negative word can ruin their day. One disappointment can destroy their confidence. But a person with peace remains steady because their sense of security is not tied to what others say or do. Peace gives you the ability to respond instead of react. It allows you to pause before you speak, to think before you decide, and to forgive before you explode. Peace is not weakness. It is power under control. It gives you the wisdom to face challenges without losing yourself. It teaches you that not every battle deserves your energy, and not every opinion requires your defense. Peace allows you to walk through chaos and remain unshaken, because you are governed by something greater than noise. You are governed by understanding. The enduring power of peace is also seen in how it protects your mind. In a world filled with anxiety, uncertainty, and constant comparison, peace becomes your shield. It silences fear and quiets insecurity. It tells you that even if you don't have everything figured out, you are still safe and guided. Peace teaches you to trust timing, to be patient in process, and to believe that everything will unfold as it should. While happiness fades with circumstance, peace grows with maturity. The more you understand yourself and your purpose, the deeper your peace becomes. It cannot be stolen by loss or shaken by delay. Peace gives your life balance, keeping your emotions in harmony with your vision. It is the invisible strength that makes you unbreakable. Happiness might lift you for a moment, but peace sustains you for a lifetime. When you live in peace, you no longer need to chase calm. You carry it within you. Peace is the quiet confidence that whispers, "I am whole." Even when life is not perfect, the source of true peace is not found in possessions, people, or success. It is found in understanding your purpose and living in alignment with your inner truth. Many people search for peace in external achievements, thinking that if they reach a certain goal or obtain a specific thing, they will finally feel settled. But real peace does not come from what you have. It comes from who you are and how closely your life aligns with that truth. When you live out of harmony with your values, you experience internal conflict. You may have everything others dream of, yet still feel restless inside. Peace begins when your actions, beliefs, and purpose move in the same direction. It is the product of integrity. When your outer life reflects your inner convictions, you can lie to others about your success, but you can never lie to your own soul. A lack of peace is often a signal that you are disconnected from your true purpose. It is like trying to play beautiful music on an instrument that is out of tune. Everything you do produces noise instead of harmony. True peace is found when you discover why you exist and begin to live with that awareness daily. It is not about avoiding challenges or discomfort. It is about understanding that even in the midst of trials, your life still carries meaning. Peace grows when you build your life on truth rather than illusion. Many people sacrifice their peace chasing approval or living in fear of rejection. They wear masks to please others, hoping that validation will bring calmness. But pretending drains the soul. You cannot have peace while being someone you are not. Authenticity is the soil in which peace grows. When you live truthfully, you stop wasting energy trying to maintain false images. You find strength in simplicity. You realize that peace is not about having everything under control, but about trusting that you are being guided by something higher than circumstances. Spiritual awareness also plays a central role in the source of peace. When you understand that you are part of something greater, that there is divine order even in chaos, your heart settles. You stop fighting life and start flowing with it. Peace comes from surrender, not resistance. It is born when you release the need to control everything and begin to trust that your purpose is unfolding as it should. This does not mean giving up. It means letting go of anxiety while still taking action. The source of true peace is alignment. Alignment with truth, with purpose, with the principles that govern life itself. When your thoughts agree with your beliefs and your actions follow your convictions, you create internal harmony. From that place, you no longer depend on the world to give you calmness. You carry it everywhere you go. Peace then becomes your natural state, not something you chase, but something you are. Many people confuse pleasure with fulfillment, thinking that the excitement of a new experience or the satisfaction of a desire equals peace. But pleasure and peace come from two entirely different sources. Pleasure is physical and emotional. It stimulates the senses for a short while, creating a temporary sense of joy or relief. Fulfillment, however, is spiritual. It nourishes the soul and brings lasting contentment. Pleasure enters from the outside. Fulfillment rises from within. When a person lives only for pleasure, they become addicted to moments that fade. They constantly need another thrill, another purchase, another compliment to feel good again. But peace, the foundation of fulfillment, does not depend on stimulation. It is calm, steady, and whole. It allows you to enjoy life without being enslaved by it. Pleasure can entertain you, but only peace can satisfy you. The modern world glorifies pleasure. It tells you to follow your feelings, chase what makes you happy, and escape anything that causes discomfort. But this pursuit leaves many people empty because feelings are temporary and often misleading. You can indulge in pleasure and still feel a deep emptiness afterward because the soul was not made to live on excitement alone. It was made to live on meaning. When you pursue pleasure without purpose, you trade long-term fulfillment for short-term comfort. You start living from one distraction to the next, never finding the stability that peace provides. Peace teaches you to enjoy life without being consumed by it. It allows you to appreciate pleasure when it comes, but not depend on it to define your joy. Fulfillment comes from living with purpose, serving others, and using your gifts in alignment with truth. When you contribute to something greater than yourself, you experience a peace that pleasure can never produce. Pleasure satisfies the body, purpose satisfies the spirit. Peace is the bridge between the two. It helps you stay balanced, able to experience the joy of the moment while staying rooted in values that last. When your joy comes from giving, creating, and growing, you become independent of external pleasure. You realize that true satisfaction is not about what you receive, but about who you become. Pleasure fades as soon as circumstances change, but fulfillment deepens with time. Pleasure depends on excitement, fulfillment depends on meaning. A peaceful person may not always feel excited, but they always feel complete. They don't need constant entertainment because they have discovered inner contentment. This kind of peace cannot be bought or borrowed. It is earned through discipline, reflection, and truth. The difference between pleasure and fulfillment is the difference between a spark and a flame. One shines briefly, the other burns steadily. The wise person enjoys pleasure when it comes but builds life on peace, knowing that fulfillment is the only state strong enough to outlast the noise of the world. Inner stability is one of the most powerful outcomes of true peace. It is the ability to remain steady when everything around you seems unstable, to think clearly when emotions try to cloud your judgment, and to hold your ground when pressure demands that you react. The person who has inner stability does not live by moods or moments but by principles. They are not easily shaken by criticism, fear, or failure because their foundation is built on something deeper than emotion. This stability does not mean a person never feels pain or disappointment. It means they have learned how to manage emotions rather than be managed by them. In a world that moves fast and constantly demands reaction, inner stability allows you to pause, to breathe, and to make decisions from wisdom instead of impulse. The mind that lacks peace is like a stormy sea, restless, unpredictable, and constantly crashing against itself. But peace brings order to the inner world. It gives clarity where confusion once ruled. When you cultivate inner stability, you begin to notice that external problems no longer have the same power over you. The opinions of others lose their control, temporary setbacks stop defining your identity, and even chaos begins to feel less threatening. Peace is not the absence of noise. It is the calm that exists in the middle of it. Inner stability turns reaction into reflection. It gives you time to think before responding, to choose patience over anger, and to act with understanding rather than frustration. A stable person becomes a pillar for others. When people around you panic, they look to you for calmness and direction. Inner stability transforms you into a leader because people trust those who are not easily moved by emotion. It does not mean you are emotionless. It means you have mastered balance. You feel deeply, but you don't drown in feelings. You experience challenges, but you don't lose your peace. Stability allows you to walk through storms with confidence that the storm will pass, but your foundation will remain. Inner stability is also essential for mental and emotional health. Constant emotional swings exhaust the body and mind. But when peace governs your heart, stress loses its grip. You learn to let go of what you cannot control and focus on what you can. You stop fighting every small battle and begin investing energy in what truly matters. This creates strength, patience, and resilience. You realize that you cannot stop challenges from coming, but you can decide how to face them. Peace gives you that power. In the end, inner stability is not about perfection, but about perspective. It is about knowing that storms are temporary and that your peace is permanent if you protect it. The one who guards their peace guards their destiny. They walk steadily, think clearly, and live wisely, untouched by the chaos that consumes others. Peace is one of the most overlooked yet powerful qualities of true leadership. Many people believe leadership is about charisma, control, or the ability to motivate others through loud confidence. But real leadership begins with inner calm. A leader who lacks peace becomes reactive, easily threatened, and driven by emotion instead of vision. True influence comes not from how much noise you make, but from how much stability you carry. People follow leaders who bring calm in the middle of confusion, who can stand firm when others panic, and who think clearly when emotions are running high. Peace in leadership is not passive, it is power under control. It allows you to make wise decisions without being clouded by fear or ego. When a leader operates from peace, they lead from conviction, not reaction. They are not pushed by anxiety to prove themselves, they are guided by clarity and purpose. A peaceful leader listens more than they speak. They do not rush to judgment or allow the pressure of circumstances to dictate their choices. Because peace gives them a broader perspective, they can see beyond immediate problems and focus on long-term purpose. While others are distracted by the noise of emotions, a peaceful leader looks for principles. They lead not by excitement but by example. Peace allows them to remain steady even when everything else shakes. Their calm presence gives people confidence. In times of uncertainty, it is not the loudest person who brings direction. It is the one who remains composed. Leaders without peace often create instability around them. Their stress becomes contagious, and their lack of control spreads fear and confusion to their teams. But leaders who operate from peace bring clarity wherever they go. They make others feel safe, valued, and heard. Peaceful leadership is not about avoiding conflict, but about managing it with grace. It allows you to confront issues without aggression, to correct without humiliation, and to inspire without manipulation. People can sense when a leader is ruled by peace, because they do not need to dominate others to feel powerful. Their authority flows from integrity, not insecurity. Peaceful leadership also builds trust. When people see that you remain calm under pressure, they begin to believe in your stability. They know you will not make decisions based on panic or anger. This creates an environment where growth can happen naturally because people feel protected, not pressured. Peace makes space for creativity, cooperation, and honest communication. The greatest leaders throughout history were not those who shouted the loudest, but those who carried calm in crisis. Peace allowed them to stand tall when others fell apart, to think when others froze, and to lead when others hid. A peaceful leader becomes an anchor in a restless world. They do not chase applause or react to chaos. They embody control, wisdom, and direction. True leadership begins when peace becomes your posture, not your reward. The path to peace is not found in escaping life's challenges, but in learning how to face them with understanding, forgiveness, and purpose. Peace is not something that simply happens to you. It is something you cultivate intentionally. It begins with awareness. An honest look at your thoughts, habits, and attitudes. Many people live in inner conflict because they never stop to examine what is happening inside them. They are so busy fixing the outside world that they forget the real battle is within. The path to peace starts with reflection. You must learn to pause, to listen to your inner voice, and to understand what is causing your unrest. When you identify the thoughts and fears that disturb your calm, you take the first step toward reclaiming your peace. Forgiveness is another vital part of this journey. You cannot have peace while holding on to resentment. Anger may feel justified, but it poisons your spirit and steals your joy. Forgiveness does not excuse what others have done. It simply releases your heart from the weight of the past. It allows you to move forward without carrying bitterness. Peace and unforgiveness cannot live in the same heart. Every time you forgive, you make space for peace to grow. You stop allowing the actions of others to control your emotions. Forgiveness is freedom, and freedom is the foundation of peace. Purpose also plays a central role in the path to peace. When you know why you are alive and what you are meant to do, confusion loses its power over you. Purpose gives direction, and direction gives peace. Many people feel restless not because life is hard, but because life feels meaningless. When you wake up each day, knowing your life matters, your mind settles. You stop comparing yourself to others because you are focused on fulfilling your unique assignment. Peace thrives where purpose is clear. Discipline is another key part of this path. Peace does not stay in a disordered mind. You must train your thoughts to align with truth, gratitude, and perspective. A peaceful person is not careless, they are intentional. They guard their time, choose their influences wisely, and feed their mind with wisdom. Meditation, prayer, or quiet reflection are practices that nurture peace because they remind you to slow down and reconnect with what truly matters. Finally, the path to peace is a lifelong process, not a destination. It requires patience and persistence. There will be days when you feel unsettled, but that does not mean peace is gone. It means you must return to your center. You will lose peace when you drift away from truth, but you can always find it again through reflection, forgiveness, and gratitude. Peace is a journey of alignment, aligning your thoughts with truth, your heart with love, and your actions with purpose. When these three move together, peace becomes not just a feeling, but a way of life.